Welcome to Scoop on Order. Wow. Best day in Scoop history yesterday. Thank you to all of you that came out to Buffalo Wild Wings, corner of Lane High. We smashed it, folks. Number one in sales in the entire country, that location. All thanks to you guys. Amazing meeting all you guys. Again, we're going to do more of these, but it was unbelievable. Incredible. We appreciate you guys so much. We're going to get into all of that. Talk a little bit about the spring game, obviously. Spring ball is over. Who showed out? Who looked great? Going to get into all of it, but it was such an amazing time. And thank you guys all for showing up. It was amazing meeting a lot of you, putting names to faces. It was just a blessing. We're humbled. It was incredible. As always, if you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Again, just so thankful about yesterday. It was just absolutely fantastic. Shout out where you guys are watching from. Shout out who you guys are watching with. Yeah, it was just one of those days. I mean, I pulled up and there were about 350 people in line waiting to get in, and I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. It was a fun one. And you guys swarmed the place, drank the beer dry, ate a ton of food. Everyone got to get to know each other, talk, meet each other from all these, from being on BuckeyeScoop.com, being on the podcast. It was unbelievable. It was such a great day. I'm beaming. It was a blast. I was exhausted by the time it was done because I had a gala in Pittsburgh the night before, so I literally got home at 3 a.m., slept for about 4 hours, had 3 energy drinks, and carried it throughout the day. And but man, by the time I got home, I was tired. So, but it was so awesome meeting you guys. Nevada. Yesterday was the best day we've ever had. The spring game was excellent as well. Again, the biggest thing for me with a spring game is it's always cool to see the guys playing the shoe for the first time, see who has an anxiety attack and who can actually ball. But all I really care about is no major injuries. You know, obviously there's some guys will look great, some guys will look terrible. There will be equal and opposite reactions both ways. But I thought the offense looked great. And again, there were times the defense looked great. And again, when you're scrimmaging each other, that's kind of what you want. You don't want to be completely one-sided where we throw for 1,000 yards or the defense just overwhelms the offense. But I thought it was a very fair mix. But what were your thoughts on that and your initial reactions when you heard the numbers about our Buckeye Scoop massive meetup that we had?
Yeah, and what a day. Wow. What a day for the Scoop yesterday. Unbelievable turnout at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Like you said, we got the numbers from the Buffalo Wild Wings. They're like, look, we want to just tell you this. We were the number one store in the entire nation yesterday, and that was far beyond our expectations. And so they were so thankful and so appreciative of everybody showing up. But yeah, what a day. Gonna have to make one of those meetups in the future. But Bert Carton held it down, and I heard everybody had a good time. The merchandise drop's been great. Everybody was wearing a lot of gear was out there. I've got nothing but rave reviews about the gear on top of that. And then, as you said, we finished it up with a spring game, which you have to remember, the spring game is a zero-sum game. So if somebody's looking good, that means somebody's looking bad. And you nailed it. You don't want to have a spring game. I mean, the epic, national championship year for Ohio State. I think you said I think the spring game was 6-3 or something like that. So sometimes, you don't want to have both sides, or one side looking great, the other side looking bad. And I thought yesterday, I was so excited about the offense and so excited to see the Chip Kelly influence on the offense immediately, because I wasn't sure, how much of a difference you're going to see in the spring game. Is it going to be kind of the Ryan Day offense and with some tweaks or whatever? But man, it is Chip's offense. I'm telling you, he is going to run the quarterback liberally this year. And that, for those of you who like quarterback runs, who like the challenges that presents to the defense. And I thought, afterwards they interviewed Jim Knowles. They were talking about the challenges of addressing the quarterback run from a defensive standpoint. And he just said it just adds a layer of complexity to everything that you do, because you have to account for the quarterback. And that is something that for the last 3 years we haven't had to do. And 2 of those years were with the golden arm of C.J. Stroud. Last year was with Kyle McCord, who's a decent thrower, a good thrower. But when he doesn't present any running threat, it just handicaps you, it just kneecaps you, everything you're doing offensively. And we're going to get a lot of the run. So the quarterback, we better have at least a pair and a spare ready to go, because when you run the quarterback that often, invariably somebody's going to get hurt. You want to have some guys that are sturdy. I thought Will and Devin both played really well yesterday. Lincoln looked like I thought Lincoln would look like. He's kind of a wild pony. Julian, was late with some passes, and he normally isn't. And I thought Air did some nice things on the ground primarily, but I don't think people really realize, one, how much the wind was swirling. I mean, the wind was really blowing around there, and I think that was affecting the passes, holding up some passes sometimes. But I like the offense. I thought we opened up some nice holes for the running backs to go through. Some of the running backs did a nice job. Primarily in the second half when they were going to tackling, and I thought that was a really good look for the Ohio State offense. Clearly, the quarterback run stuff is going to be, we're going to just dazzle some people this year when we're not going up against our own defense, because the quarterback run stuff was working and will work and will continue to work throughout the year. The wide receivers look great. I thought the offensive line looked fine. I thought the offensive line, you don't open up holes like that for the running backs without an offensive line looking fine. And I thought the sacks were really kind of the coverage sack variety. They weren't like jail breaks for the most part. They weren't like, just getting overwhelmed and guys just running through. They were like, hey, we've got a really good secondary that's locked down, and guys, the quarterbacks were not wanting to turn it over, so they were just holding it a little bit longer, and then the sacks would occur. So I was super encouraged by what I saw. I just saw quality. Although that was probably the best quality spring game that I've ever seen, and that's saying something, because my expectation, I did not have high expectations for it, but I was really kind of in awe of what I saw yesterday. I know it's vanilla. I know you're not trying to draw too many conclusions, but you can tell just from a talent standpoint, this is an insanely talented team. And I love seeing Ryan Day running around a little bit more relaxed. I love seeing Chip Kelly talk about how excited he is just to call offense. And I felt comforted having Jim Knowles there calling the defense. I think when your biggest concerns are punter and place kicker, then you're feeling pretty good coming out of the spring game. But honestly, that's where I'm at coming out of the spring game, is we just don't have a lot of questions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, obviously, do you want someone to win the right guard job? Sure. I mean, that's probably the thing people are focused on. But, I mean, every football team since the beginning of time has had something that they've wanted to get better at or improve coming out of spring practice. They still have, 20-ish practices in August. They've got all summer conditioning. They've got the portal opening up tomorrow, which is going to go crazy. I like that it was even. There were times where Jack Sawyer in the defensive front dominated. There were times where we have a pulse. And again, I can't really tell anything when you don't tackle. And again, it's just like, I hate that that's how they play the spring game now. I get you want to get out there healthy. I totally understand it. But back in the old days, we used to tackle. And again, that wasn't back in the Wayback Machine. But I think if you have people in that stadium and they're paying money to watch the game, we should tackle more than we did. But again, you want to see Trey Henderson out there. You don't want him to get hurt, especially when he came back for a senior. So it's a double-edged sword. I totally get it. Frankly, I had such a good time yesterday. I had to go back and rewatch it. Honestly, I didn't get to watch it live as thoroughly as I wanted to, so I put it on film. Chip Kelly's a genius. Chip Kelly, he knows the game. There isn't a guy on this earth that knows the game better than Urban and probably Truss. But those guys, Urban knew, like, hey, let's win these fans over. And let's shout out like Woody and talk about Woody and get that old fire stoked up. And what's Chip Kelly do the first play of the game? He goes robust T formation, baby. And Nevada had been talking about two backs in the backfield at the same time. There it is. It is glorious. We ran the T formation. Quinshawn, I think, was allergic to contact on that play because he didn't block anybody. But hey, it's a shot of love to Woody Hayes. And again, I think that's smart by Chip Kelly. Even if the play isn't great, doesn't work that great, just for the first play of the spring game to say, hey, we wanted to pay tribute to Woody Hayes. And, I really like Chip Kelly because he is a football historian. He studies the game incessantly. He's a guy that, he goes back 100 years and he's on it. He's awesome. I absolutely, I love what the offense looked like. I love schematically where we were. Again, can we be better? Do we need another guard or does a tackle, whatever? Sure. But I mean, it's been like that since the beginning of time with football. There's always, we've got really good pass rushers. And, even our twos, when you got Kenyatta and Kate as twos, those guys would be ones pretty much anywhere else in the country that doesn't have Jack Story and JT2 Malone. So, but I loved everything about it. Again, I thought it was the most important thing for me. I said it a billion times. We got out of there healthy. We didn't have a Mitchell Melton blow his ACL out in the game, and I thought he looked good. He had a really good spring. He's a guy that I think is kind of a dark horse to be more of a factor than we're talking about right now. But it was good seeing Trey and Quinshawn, and when that line they started with yesterday, that's my pick to be the starting offensive line. Come week one, they started the game with kind of the projected starters. Will Howard at quarterback. You've got Seth McLaughlin at center, Carson Hinsman right guard, Josh Fryer right tackle. I thought Carson really, he really came on throughout spring. And again, people were throwing dirt on his grave, and I'm like, the guy started 12 games as a redshirt freshman last year, and that's hard to do as a lineman. Like, again, lineman, being an offensive lineman when you're 19 years old in the Big Ten, you're going to get thumped sometimes. And I thought, played well. I mean, the one game where we sucked the worst on the O-line was the one where they didn't play him. So, when you're in the trenches, going from a 19-year-old redshirt freshman to a 20-year-old redshirt sophomore is going to be an incredible jump. He's got a whole summer of more conditioning, weightlifting. I think he's got an edge because, again, he was publicly humiliated. When you get benched for a bowl game and then the O-line gets blitzkrieged by Missouri and then they never put him back in, it's humiliating. It's embarrassing. And he's got a nice edge to him. And again, I like my linemen edgy. I want them ornery. I want them angry. I don't need them all. They don't all have to be golfers. I need some guys that can actually, go clean out a bar sometime. And those are my kinds of guys. So I'm just telling you, I think Carson's got a nice edge. I thought Josh had a nice, the two Joshes were much improved from last year, which again, it's their contract years. Josh Simmons has a year where he could potentially go pro if he has a big year because he's athletic enough to light the combine up next year. And Josh Fryer wants to have a career, in football past this year. So he's got to improve his tape, and I think he's going to be much more confident, much better this time around. But I loved everything about it. But again, I'm still smiling like a Cheshire cat from ear to ear because yesterday was unbelievably fun for me, for everyone. Like I see, Kim, obviously my wife was there working the room, doing a thing. We're kind of a mom and pop shop between Nevada, myself, David Panteric, AT, Arnold Thurman. He was there. We had the wives there. A lot of you guys brought your families, brought your kids. It was incredible. So again, it was an amazing day. We're getting a ton of super chats. Nevada, do you have anything off of what I said you'd like to add, and we'll start going through some super chats?
No, I thought, like I said, I had, we talked about the question marks that we had coming into the spring, and and I know people are concerned about the quarterback position. I know that's kind of taken on a life of its own. And man, I am just not concerned about the quarterback position at all. I mean, the quarterbacks in Chip Kelly's system do not have to be great. They do not have to be transcendent, golden armed, talented guys. All they have to be is efficient, smart, and willing runners. And if you look at the guys that he's done it with Dennis Dixon and Marcus Mariota, and who was the other guy that he did it with? The 1 year Mayola or Mayola.
Oh yeah, Jeremiah Masoli.
Jeremiah Masoli. I mean, yeah. He just you just need guys that can just distribute the ball out there, and man, I like the way the offense just felt. It just felt so coherent, and I think it's going to be insanely difficult for teams to defend this, and. And the defense is, we all can tell the defense is going to be locked down, and that was without Lathan Ransom back there, which is just speaking to the depth that we have in the defensive backfield, because Iggy looks like he's in midseason form already, and it's going to be very difficult for people to. I'm telling you right now, nobody's going to score more than 21 points on the team next year. They won't. We will not give up more than 21 points in a game. Calling it right now. Nevadabuck laying it down. And I want to give a special shout out just before we get into the thing to my boy Brennan Schramm, who's a guy that I called out early in spring football, and I called it out, and I'm like, this guy's a really good football player. I'm telling you, he was tearing up. He lost his black stripe. He's tearing it up, and people are like, what is Nevada talking? Brennan Schramm. Who's Brennan Schramm? Who's that? Who has the touchdown reception yesterday? Brennan Schramm. One of my best sports is texted me and he goes, this kid is Dane Sonsenbacher version 2.0. I'm just telling you. And I know people, he'll never be anything. He'll never play with that room and all those highly touted 5-star wide receivers. This kid's a good player. He is a good player. And you look at him, he played at Allers High School and he caught all these passes, which is amazing because Allers is not very good, as was evidenced in the Penn State game. So the fact that he could catch 1,800 yards a senior year or whatever. But Brendan Schramm, my boy, had another big catch yesterday. And no, I'm excited. The 2024 season came in with so many expectations. I thought it was impossible for them to meet it at the spring game, but they met it. They met it, and I see the quality. I see what's there, and I think the Buckeyes are going to be very, very difficult. They're going to be a difficult out for anybody, and Michigan's going to get walloped. If you get an early line on the Ohio State Michigan game, take it, because Ohio State's going to take them to the woodshed this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, we can get into some of these super chats. I will tell you guys gave me a lot of energy the night before Friday. I was at a black tie gala that I was invited to by Buckeye Scoop member Patrick Hempson, who I love to death. It was for Bell Blood's show, but they roasted Bill Cowher. It was hilarious. It was a great night. But I got home at like 3 a.m. yesterday on Saturday, so my wife and I were a little tired, but we tried to do the best we could to put on a good show. But it was, I'll tell you what, Mel Blount is a unit. I mean, that dude is like 6'5", and I couldn't imagine that guy hitting me over the middle because he was, I didn't realize how big he was in person, but this was the event that I was at on Friday. It was awesome. But nothing topped the Scoop event. It was, the Scoop event was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I got to see Paul Lewis. Paul Lewis came up to me. And I got to make your photo bigger on here, Paul, because Paul Lewis gave me one of the greatest gifts I've ever got in my life. He gave me a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle 20-year, which I was like, Jesus. Like, I mean, I knew what that thing cost. And Paul walked up to me. It was hilarious. And he's like, do you know who I am? He had glasses on and like a fedora. And I was like, are you a hitman? Are you going to kill me? For a second, like, he kind of, because I've seen Jeff Ruby. I've met him before. He had the thing on. He's like, it's Paul Lewis. And like, Paul, like the hardest part about this, like when I do the show, is that your photo, the little photo, Deb's got like a face shot, which is easy to see, but Paul's is way smaller. I'm going to put it on the screen. He just did a super chat. And so I didn't recognize, so I felt terrible, Paul, but I was like, oh my God, is this the guy who's going to come and kill me? Because he had these dark sunglasses on and a hat. And I was like, I think I've seen this movie before. But thankfully he didn't, but you were awesome. I appreciate it. Deb, how about Chip Kelly's shout out to Woody Hayes? Yeah, again, that, these coaches are smart, and when they pay homage to Woody Hayes, it's a good way to get the old grumpy turds to realize that these people here, they're not just nomads. They're not just, this isn't just a job. They appreciate the history that comes with being a coach at Ohio State. So I thought this was really smart by Chip Kelly. And again, Chip Kelly is a football guy. And again, I've said it before, say it again. I say it probably every time I talk about Chip Kelly. Look at the guys, like go Google the guys that he goes in clinics, like Bill Belichick, Urban, Nick Saban. Like those guys all want to know why he does some of the stuff he does on offense, why no huddle, because the guy studies the stuff at an incredibly proficient rate, and he takes the best stuff out of everything and makes his own offense. So all these genius defensive coaches want to know why, how, what made you think to do that, whatever. So again, us hiring him is my favorite coordinator hire that I will probably ever have for the rest of my life. So again, when he started in Woody Hayes' robust T formation, I was like, that guy's a genius because he's paying homage to Woody on his first play call in the horseshoe. And I think that's incredibly important just because, like the old timers like to see that stuff. Like anytime that you can bring up Woody Hayes, I think it's really good because God bless the old man, but he is the standard with his 5 national championships. Nevada, your thoughts on our boy showing the T formation on his very first play?
Well, it wasn't just the T formation. They did that little like reverse pivot thing where they pivoted into it as well.
Yeah.
It was like the Mean Machine in The Longest Yard or something like that, and that was awesome. When I saw that, I was just like, Oh, that just brought me back. I was back to 1974, and I was 12 watching Cornelius Green and Pete Johnson and Archie Griffin and Brian Bashnagel there running around, and it was that was terrific. Yeah, Chip Kelly is the best. I know there was a few people that questioned that, not many, but a few people questioned the hire, and I'm like, yeah, the best hire ever. Just an absolute genius when it comes to offense, and just a perfect way to start his reign of terror for 2024 was with that play call. And I know the players got a big kick out of it as well. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, and the best thing is that he literally is right. He's Ryan Day's mentor. He's like a father figure to Ryan Day, and now he's in the building. Like, he's running the show on offense. I'm like, you couldn't have a more perfect hire for Ryan Day. And it's like, I'm happy for Ryan. I'm like, dude, like, he knew he had to hand the controls of that offense off, and he hired the guy that he trusts more than anybody in his football world to do it. So again, it's as good as it gets for me, and I thank God every single day. Travis, what is up, my man? Travis rolled up and gave us another barrelhead, a beautiful barrelhead. Appreciate you, my man. It was awesome seeing you. Thank you for the deuce as well. Again, it's just fun getting everyone together. Like, that was the coolest thing, is like everybody gets to meet everybody. Obviously, most people recognize me because, I'm talking on the screen the whole time, but like, it's fun getting to know people, see each other. Everyone kind of gets to meet in person. And again, if you're on the message board or sometimes on YouTube, you don't use your real name. You got a screen name. So it's always fun to put the screen names with the people, and, it's just amazing. So it was a special day. It was awesome. And also Nevada OH. Yeah, but Travis, it was awesome seeing you, bro. It was awesome seeing everybody. And I appreciate you making the drive up, and thank you for the barrelhead. It is beautiful. Big fan of these. Give me 1 second. If you guys have not seen the barrelheads, they're awesome. I don't know how, Travis, how you can, if people want one of these, get in touch. You can put any logo on it. So if you have a corporate logo, it's got little hooks on the back so you can hang it up on the wall. But I love it. It's beautiful, and I appreciate you, brother. Again, it is great for your bar, or if you have like a giant drink, it'd be a great coaster too. Paul Lewis. Now, again, I love you to death. This photo is so small, and you don't even have glasses on. So when you're like, "Who am I?" I was like, I wish that this was a little bit closer, but I appreciate you so much, my man, for rolling up yesterday. That was one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten in my life. So thank you for that. Thank you for the 50. It was awesome. So again, I love seeing everybody, getting to know everybody. Yeah, dude, you're intimidating with those black sunglasses on. Cause I literally was like, this guy might be an assassin. He might be James Bond. I don't know. But thank God you said Paul Lewis. Is like, oh yeah, Paul Lewis, of course, my dude, Hall of Famer, my guy. I appreciate you, brother, so much. Nevada, any thoughts? Paul Lewis, Scoop Hall of Famer. Did not kill me yesterday, even though he was dressed like an assassin. And he gave me the coolest bottle I think I've ever gotten him. I mean, that's easily the most expensive bottle of liquor I've ever gotten in my life. So that was incredible. But any thoughts?
Well, yeah, I was thinking of the Apocalypse Now scene with Marlon Brando, where he's like, "Are you an assassin?" I was thinking, I would imagine it'd be kind of scary when you meet somebody like that. He's got the fedora and everything like that. That would have been very intimidating. But I had somebody else that came up to you, and they texted me and they said, "You know what Kirk is? Kirk's just like a big cuddly bear now." And I'm like, I know. He used to be tough, man, but he's just a big soft. He's like a big pudding pop now.
I was a big sweaty bear yesterday, man, because I was standing there for about 3 straight hours, and like, man, I felt bad. People would come up and they put their arm behind my back, and it sounded, you could hear it sounded like a sponge. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to stop sweating unless we like do the photo stuff in like the freezer of the restaurant. I don't know how I'm supposed to stop sweating, because I stood for like 3 hours and I loved it. It was great. I mean, it was great. A line wrapped around the building for it. But I was like, damn, I wish I could stop sweating, because I got my mom's crappy genetics. It drives me crazy, because I was like, I need to like take a pill or like do that, whatever that Botox in your back or whatever it is. But I felt bad, but it was amazing. But man, I couldn't wait to take a shower and get clean. It was wonderful. David Pinteric was in the building yesterday. Thank you again, my man. I appreciate you helping out. David, for those of you that didn't know or didn't get introduced to him, he was taking all the photos. So he was awesome. Thank you for being an Ultra member. Thank you for being an owner of Buckeye Scoop. And thank you for the 20. Appreciate you, man. Hey, guys, it was a great time yesterday. We rocked Buffalo Wings. We really did. I mean, it was, like I said, when I pulled up and I saw that line of about 300 people standing outside before we even opened. And then as soon as the doors opened, every single table was full. I was like, this is about to be a good day. But David was hilarious. He was great. He kept trying to give me water, and I'd take a sip of it and chuck it in the trash because I was like, dude, I want to try to keep people happy and keep the line moving because I don't have to pee. So I was like, I don't want to be slamming a bunch of water, even though I probably could have drank about 7 gallons of water as much as I was sweating, and I wouldn't have had to ever pee. But kind of is what it is. But David, you were awesome yesterday. You were a rock star. Appreciate all your help and all you do for Buckeye Scoop, obviously. But it was an absolutely fantastic day. Sergio Sama, thank you for the 5. Kirk in Nevada. The Urban Gene Love Fest was super cringe. Why is Urban pushing playoffs in Indy versus / inside videos? What is he thinking? Nevada, your thoughts on the Urban and Gene Love Fest? And Urban's always political. That's his move. And your thoughts also on Urban pushing for indoor playoff venues?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I've been in a situation where Urban hasn't been quite as nice about Gene Smith. So it was cringe. And I love Urban Meyer. I love Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer is absolutely on the pantheon of greats. I think his stuff with DiNardo is like the smartest television in the world. So far be it for me to question him on anything, but the indie stuff, I didn't know where he was coming from with that. I don't get it. I don't really understand it. I don't agree with it in any way. And I don't know. I guess that's what makes the world great is that you can still admire somebody and still have different opinions of him. But yeah, I found that whole sequence. It's funny you called that out, Sergio, because I was watching that whole sequence thinking, man, this is odd. I mean, I feel like this whole thing is really, really odd, and I don't agree with any of it. And if we have a home playoff game, in the first round of the playoffs, it's got to be in Columbus. It's got to be in Columbus, and the idea of playing it in a dome in Indy or Detroit or wherever else we would do it, no. Play it in Columbus. And you know what? The weather's going to be what it's going to be. It could be great that day. It could be cold. It could be rainy. Mr. Barton, you've played in all sorts of bad weather and whatever, and it is what it is, man. It's part of living in Ohio. That's what you live in Ohio. If you live in Ohio, that's kind of baked in the cake. Is that you're going to get some good days and some bad days and some days in between. Why would we try to until they dome the stadium? I don't want to hear about a dome. We're playing it in Columbus, and yeah, I thought that was a weird discussion, to be honest.
Yeah, it reeks of softness. Again, there's a great quote. There's no such thing as bad weather, just soft people, and that's one of my favorite quotes. Because when I wear my shorts and flip flops when there's like a foot of snow on the ground, I always say that to my wife, and she loves it. Karis Washington, thank you for the 10. It was awesome meeting you two yesterday. Thank you for being a Scoop Ultra member as well. Hey, all, thanks for such a great time. Karis is usually very soft-spoken. He was nervous coming. He and I had a great time meeting all of you. Thanks to Kim and Kirk for the great meetup. Nevada OH.
I-O.
Yeah, and thanks to Doreen. Queen Doreen was running around taking photos with literally everybody. And it was funny because you guys were sitting right in front of where all the action was. So we appreciate you taking the photos. Again, I was right in front of you guys, and I sat down for a couple times for about 8 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, thank God you guys have an open chair here. And you guys would die laughing. But I just appreciate you guys coming. It was awesome meeting you guys. Again, that's the best part about this thing is just meeting people, putting names with faces. And everybody kind of getting to know each other. Because again, you kind of know each other from the show and being on here all the time and talking all the time. But, it's fun to really get to see everybody and get to know everybody. Jim Jackson, my Florida State guy, he was there yesterday. It was awesome meeting you too, my dude. Thank you for the 10. I'm a big Julian Sand fan, but Eric quietly did his thing yesterday. Great. Again, I'm happy as can be. Anybody that can show up in the shoe and ball, awesome. He ain't scared. Respect. Great meeting everyone yesterday. Kirk, you're the best, my friend. Scoop Nation, stand up. Totally agree. Nevada, your thoughts on Air? Again, I want all these kids to do great, because either they're going to do great at Ohio State or if they feel like portaling at some point, I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about any of them, because there's going to be some kids that hit the portal tomorrow. I don't know who. But I just think that it's going to be, it's good to get some film out there, get some confidence. This is the capstone of the entire spring. So you want to go out with a good spring game. You want to go out in front of the shoe, in front of your family, in front of your kids, your girlfriend, whatever, and play well. But we thought an air yesterday.
Well, here's the dilemma when you have a show where one of your base tenets of the show is complete honesty and being direct with people. And, I think sometimes people mistake that for like hating on somebody or not rooting for them or whatever it is. And look, when Eric got his offer from Ohio State, was committed to Ohio State, there's nobody more excited about it than I. I love Aaron Nolan. I love what he did in the down there in Georgia high school football, and I think they were averaging 70 points a game or some ridiculous. They set some record for points, and so I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I was excited to see him do well, and he did a lot of his damage on the ground, which is something that I just think that's been a missing element in the Ohio State offense for so long. That, as fans, we just watch it. We're like, wow, this is like magic. You mean the quarterback can actually run with the ball, and it really confuses the defense. And sometimes the cameraman has trouble following it. It's like, yeah, this is exactly what we've been saying for the past 3 seasons. So I was great to see him do well. Look, we have 5 quarterbacks that have various degrees of experience, skill sets, capabilities, mental acuity, etc. And may the best man win. We are going to need multiple QBs this year to win. That is not trying to root bad things for anybody. That's not me predicting doom. That's not being in it. It's just, man, it's a 16 or 17 game season in a quarterback run centric offense. We're going to need quarterbacks. So we may need the 4th guy this year. I don't know. So let's get them all ready. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it was good to see him do well. And I hope he continues to do well, and I hope he continues. I hope he has a unbelievable career at Ohio State and breaks all sorts of records, because I root for them all. And like I said, it was good to see her have a great day.
Yeah, I mean, like when we say stuff, like we're, again, it's just all analyzing stuff, and there's always going to be guys. No one's even. There's no 2 players that are ever even. There's always going to be some discrepancy between guys. And obviously, Julian Sain was the talk of spring. The most advanced quarterback we've ever had as a freshman, especially high school, a kid that graduated high school early type freshman. That's it's insane what he did. But I was happy for Air. I mean, Air started off on the wrong foot at Ohio State, and he's starting to break the right way. And good for him. Again, he's a kid that was in our class. He was our only quarterback until Julian became available. And like I said, Air didn't start off on the best foot when he came to school for the first month. He had a lot of hiccups, and it opened up the door to get Julian Sain. So, but again, I know the one thing about our quarterback room is whoever Ryan Day picks and Chip Kelly picks is going to be a Heisman candidate. So I'm good. Again, I don't lose a wink of sleep thinking about our quarterback room, because as long as Ryan Day's here, he's going to be aggressive at making sure that we have a Heisman Trophy ceremony level quarterback, and makes me excited. And in this offense, it's going to be unbelievable. Adam, thank you for the 5. Worth the drive from Iowa. Appreciate you, my man. That's awesome. Your wife is very nice. Had a good conversation with her. Kim was working the room magically. She was killing it like she always does. Can't wait for the next one. Love our Scoop family. Appreciate you, my man. Yeah, Kim, there was kind of a funny moment where I was trying to get Kim's attention so she could come up here. And I was talking, and I had to yell Kim like 8 times. She finally got up here. And we just talked about, what it meant that all you guys showed up. And I appreciate Kim working the room, doing her thing. And then Andy Joe Taylor, who was awesome yesterday, sang the national anthem and sang some of her songs. She was tremendous. So again, I appreciate all you guys. It was great doing the anthem. I love doing that. I kind of kicked the whole thing off, but it was just such a fun time. And again, I'm glad, it's always fun for you guys to kind of see who's behind the scenes. And Doreen, Queen Doreen was working the room. Doreen took great photos. Appreciate you, Doreen, capturing a lot of it. 'Cause I can't really do the photos because I kind of am the photo. I'm walking around, people. I'm taking photos with people and talking to people. So I appreciate you, Doreen, capturing everything. Obviously, Kim and Doreen here. but I was just so proud. I was so proud of what we did and meeting everybody and just such great people. Like it's such a great community to be a part of. And it was something that I was just pleased, again, because like when it's your shindig, man, you just hope people show up for it, and the way you guys showed up and showed out and had a great time. You guys stayed, you guys had some cocktails, you guys ordered a ton of food. Again, number one in the entire country, Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday was Lane and High where we were. So thank you guys again for showing out like that. It was incredible. Deb Sobel, thank you for the 5. Thank you for being an ultra member. Almost ripped out an IV. Oh my God, when Emeka made that catch. God, I could have used an IV after yesterday. Whew. Thank you for making me a smarter Buckeye. I am in love with Chip Kelly. I totally agree. I am too. I mean, I think he's fantastic. Nevada OH. Emeka's catch was disgusting. It was unbelievable. What were your thoughts on that? Now, again, the protection wasn't too key because I think the quarterback might have been in the infirmary because, again, when you run these plays and guys aren't live, then like sometimes these guys get off throws that probably wouldn't get off in a real game. But what were your thoughts on Emeka's catch? To keep his feet in too, and Emeka's a guy that I think is going to blow up and have a monster year. But what were your thoughts, Nevada?
Well, honestly, my first thought was, like sometimes you see those one-handed catch and they're kind of unnecessary, and you're like, why did the guy go with one hand? But that was completely necessary. His grip strength is unbelievable because that ball just stuck to his hand like flypaper when he went up there and got it. But my first thought was, Emeka's going to be seeing single coverage all year long, and I think he's poised for a big year because teams have to respect J.J. Smith. They're going to have to roll that extra defender over the top on him, and Emeka's going to feast. And I think we forgot how good he was because he was banged up last year, so he didn't really have a chance to show out. And Marvin Harrison was kind of the story, the Blitnikoff winner, going to be a high draft pick. But Emeka is a tremendous, tremendous wide receiver, and if he's getting single coverage this year, if he's put in those spots, he's going to have a big year. And it was great to see him have a great game like that.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I do have to point out, and this is hilarious. This was, other than the shirts that you guys obviously you got from our merch shop, this is the funniest thing I saw the whole day. The Scoop had it first tank top. I was custom made. I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen. So send me your, go to the Buckeye Scoop Instagram, send me your screen and I'm going to tag you in that. But that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Because I was like, oh my God, please go wear that around Media Row. Because they'll scowl and they'll be angry about that one. Because I was like, that is like one of my favorite things to say because people get so butthurt over it. But Scoop had it first. What do you think about that, Nevada? A custom-made Scoop had it first tank top. And the dude was rocked up, man. He was rocking the guns. I was like, that is fantastic. But your thoughts on that, Nevada?
Yeah, like I said, that is the ultimate troll shirt, man, because Scoop had it first definitely triggers some folks when you put it out there. So we love triggering people. We love doing it. So seeing somebody rocking a shirt like that, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and he was definitely strapped up for sure. Definitely working on the curl machine there. That's a guy that's got he's got a soft spot in my heart there. He's not working on Barton. Barton's doing like the power shrugs and stuff. Nevada's like 30 minutes just on curls there, so he can wear the tank top. But I love it. That was awesome.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, man. It's like people they get so bent over that. It's my favorite thing. David Buckeye, what's up, brother? I met you yesterday also. It was great. Again, I love putting names with faces because these are the ones where it helps is when the avatar is like Brutus Buckeye. So I literally have no idea what you look like, but you show up to me and say, hey, I'm Dub V Buckeye. I'm like, oh, I know you. You're always on the show. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for showing up yesterday. That was awesome. Great seeing everyone. It was massive. Can't wait for the season to start. We need to do it again. Hats off to Kirk and everyone that pulled it off yesterday. Yeah, it was, it was one of those things where we were hoping it would go the way it did, and it exceeded everyone's expectations. I mean, I had high hopes just because I get text messages, phone calls, direct messages, instant messages on BuckeyeScoop.com. I get a million forms of communication, people saying that they're coming to the event, I'm coming, and pretty much everybody showed up. So, I mean, I was like, hey, it worked because I told Mike Paul, God bless you, Mike Paul. Mike Paul runs the Buffalo Wild Wings around there. He's the guy that asked if we could do the spring game thing. And he's the guy that, has had a lot of faith in us since the beginning. And he helped get everything together. He hung up the Buckeye Scoop flag at that Buffalo Wild Wings. It's going to be there forever now, so it's awesome. But thank you, Mike, for helping set that thing up, because it was a magical day. I was so excited and so happy. And again, I just love meeting everybody. It's fun, and Kim had a blast doing that too, and obviously the rest of the Scoop crew that was there. It was awesome. Doug Zila, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, my man. The Bartons know how to throw a party and work the room. Love the Scoop fam. Awesome function at Nevada OH. Yeah, I mean, but we had, obviously it was awesome. And again, this is a nice shot of the Scoop flag flying up high. You see it right up here by the TVs. So we got the Scoop flag flying in there for good. But I got to give a shout out to Dr. Kurt. It was great. He took photos. Here's Dr. Kurt doing his thing. Literally, he has a list of names of everybody that that has photos. And on BuckeyeScoop.com, there's a whole photo gallery that Dr. Kurt did. So thank you, Dr. Kurt. It was great seeing you and your son. But Andy Joe Taylor was there, rocking the house, singing. There's Doreen with Andy Joe's little her promo banner. It just was fun. Andy Joe's walking around singing songs. I mean, it was just one of those days where there was a lot of people that necessarily, they might not necessarily be on our staff, but people like Doreen and Dr. Kurt and Andy Joe, they add a lot of help. They add a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun. Doreen, again, thank you for taking all the photos, because again, in the moment, I don't have time to take photos because I'm trying to just get around and talk to everybody and thank everybody, because we had people flying from Vegas, people driving from Iowa, Newark, New Jersey, California. We had people from all over the country come in just for the event. Then obviously, they can go to the spring game afterwards. But I had people literally say, I came in for the event more than the spring game, and I'm just going to happen to go to the spring game too. So I was like, well, that's awesome. Appreciate you guys. It was awesome, Doug. Again, I appreciate you showing up as well. It was an absolute blast. Andre Duke, what is up, my man? I'm going to hop on your podcast soon. I got your email. I will reply to it. I've had a ton of messages, as you can imagine, in the last 2 days. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for being an Ultra member. I had a great time Saturday. It was great meeting people. Yeah, like I said, I just love meeting everybody and watching the spring game, talking Ohio State football. We're definitely going to do a spring preview in August. That'll be at the new Grove City Buffalo Wild Wings. That'll go ballistic. That'll go nuts. Might have a little bit more of a Q&A format where I'll sit up on a stool with a little microphone and take you guys' questions in real time, kind of like real life super chats. But I think that'll be a blast. And again, I'm really excited to see you guys again. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you, Andre. And let's get that podcast scheduled so we can knock that thing out. That'll be fun. Ben Vargo, thank you for the 5. Appreciate all y'all do. Thank you so much. Appreciate you as well, my friend. Living in Texas, not being able to make it up much, but hopefully I'll be up this fall. Love to see you. Again, we're going to be doing meetups all the time coming up, because people are excited to have the Scoop family show up because of what we do and how we do it and how much fun everybody has. And it's going to be awesome. Nevada, you're going to be up this fall, aren't you?
I'm going to be, I've said, when you want me to be there, I will be there, and we'll make sure it's pandemonium and mayhem when Nevadabuck and Kirk Barton are there together. That will be that'll be something. So yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm like Nixon. I'm tan, rested, and ready to run, and ready to be there in the fall.
Tan, rested, and ready to drink an iced coffee.
Ice blended.
Ice blended. Jeremy Moreland, dude, it was awesome seeing you yesterday. Doreen literally jumped on the microphone right before you got there and said, "Is Jeremy Moreland in the crowd?" Because again, when your avatar is what yours is, it's hard to really. I mean, it's small and you can't really see real clear who people are. But dude, it was awesome seeing you again. Thanks for being alternate for the 10. Left the meetup, went to Hyde Park Steakhouse. Manager had a surprise for us. We had Devin Brown and his mom, dad, younger brother sit next to us. Amazing weekend. Awesome meeting you all. And again, we're going to sell these. So if you guys want the coolest looking cup / koozie thingamajig, this thing is awesome. It is really well made. It's like a Yeti. So we're gonna sell these. So in the comments, if you guys want one of the Jeremy cups, that's what I'm gonna call it. These things are amazing. And he actually had one where he unfixed the C. So this one he fixed the C, and then he did one where he unfixed the C. Because he's like, that's part of you guys' charm is that you guys aren't good at Photoshop. I was like, yeah, kind of right. It's pretty funny. Nevada, do you want? I mean, we probably need to get you like 3 of these for how big when you get your 48-ounce ice blended. But these are pretty nice. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of fond of the uncorrected C. You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of my thing.
Part of the charm, man.
I'm a work in progress, just like the flawed Nevadabuck logo right there. So I love it.
No, it was what an incredible day. It was unbelievable. Clay Alders, thank you for being Ultraman. Thank you for the 5. I'm late. So sorry if it's been asked. Didn't hear much about how Sonny Styles did in his new role. What all did you see / hear? Nevada OH. You know, I thought Sonny was fine. You know, again, the thing you have to remember about this stuff is I think Sonny's going to be more of an attacking player, more of a blitzer, and they don't blitz much in these things. Like in these exhibitions, like a spring game that's on a national TV, you're going to see it might not be completely vanilla, but it's like vanilla with like a drop of chocolate syrup on it. So it's not going to be like a full-blown like cookies and cream with cookie dough. It's not going to be like that kind of a smorgasbord of an offensive and defensive, you know, play call sheet. I mean, they do not want to put this stuff on film. Again, they're very, very particular about what gets out, what's, you know, what the enemies can study all summer, because, you know, every team in the nation is going to take, you know, every team that's playing Ohio State is going to watch the spring game, see what they did. But I've been in those games as a player. I've been in the staff rooms as coaches. It's the most vanilla stuff in the world. I mean, even when we were doing like a spring game draft, I remember like I can't remember what coach it was. I don't know if it was Daryl Hazel or someone told me not to take Malcolm Jenkins high. Even though I want to take Malcolm high, not because he was a good player, but it's because like all we're playing is cover 2. Like, so it's not like really a huge deal. You don't need like man corners, and some positions really lose their value when you're drafting due to the spring game format. So I think Sonny's gonna be a lot more of an attacker, but I think he did well. You know, I honestly think CJ's gonna start this year, but Sonny could very easily take his spot, and I think he's gonna be our number 3 linebacker. But there's gonna be a lot of competition going into training camp, which is good. And James Laurinaitis has to make the decision on who he wants to take the first snap versus Akron. Nevada, your thoughts on Sonny Styles in the spring game, and just I guess like an overall thought of how he did in the spring.
Yeah, I thought he came on. I thought he was a guy that started slowly and really came on. And when they went those 3 linebacker looks, but like you said yesterday, I mean, I might have missed it, and that's very, very possible. But do you recall, and you're rewatching, us bringing more than 4 or blitzing yesterday? I mean, if it happened.
It happened like
didn't
once,
happen.
maybe. I mean,
Okay.
Again, like I don't think we did, but again, I just buzzed through it. To be honest with you, it wasn't like I was like, oh my god, but we just don't blitz in those games because Ryan Day and Urban Meyer and coaches usually don't want to show anything because there's no advantage to showing it. Like there's no, you know, you don't want to show any of your jazzy stuff when you don't have to. When the game's totally meaningless, other than you just want clean competition. Because, you know, again, in the regular practices that are closed to the public, closed to the media, that's when you can run anything. You can go hog wild and go ballistic. But for a game like that, like, I don't know if we've ever blitzed in a game like that. Or maybe we've said, okay, we've got like 1 or 2 blitzes we're going to run and that's it. Because you want to get good evaluations on your pass rushers, and, you know, you don't have to blitz for guys to get home. But it's as basic as you can get.
But I thought, like I said, I thought all the linebackers played good, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's going to be all hands on deck in a season this long. This is an NFL long, you know, quality season in terms of the number of games. And I thought Gabe Powers played well. I thought Gabe Powers flashed and made some nice plays. And like I said, Sonny, I thought started slow during the spring and really came on at the end, but he's best attacking. And when you see him in there, expect him to be going forward, because I think that's how they're going to utilize him.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's what you got to do with Sonny. I mean, you got to have him and CJ both. They're not the same guys. I think because Sonny's obviously bigger than CJ, but they're guys that, man, when you got them attacking, that's their forte, and that's where they can make the most damage and impact. A lot like Micah Parsons, honestly. David Crow, thanks for being ultra member for the 20. Nice meeting you yesterday. I appreciate you, my man. It was awesome meeting you as well. Seemed like a pretty good turnout at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was incredible. I mean, I honestly don't know how many more, because I mean, we were at total capacity, so it's like it wasn't. I don't know if it could have been bigger, just because like there literally was nowhere to sit. I mean, every seat was taken, so it was incredible. But yeah, it was a perfect day for the spring game. Nevada OH. Yeah, David. Again, I appreciate you swinging by, and again, like I said, I don't know how it could have been bigger unless we had a bigger venue. But like, I mean, it was slammed, and it was awesome, and I had an absolute blast. And like I said, it was like I said, it was the number one Buffalo Wild Wings in the country yesterday. It was all because you guys showed up, showed out, had a great time, and hung out for a long time. And watched the spring game. It was spring game Masters was going on at the same time. It was amazing. And the funniest thing is that I was all excited about UFC 300, and after having a 3-hour drive home from Pittsburgh, where I got home at 3 a.m, and I had to get up at 7 to get down there, like I literally fell asleep at 7 p.m. and slept through the entire UFC 300, which I was so excited to watch, but I was so tired by the time I got done with that thing. I laid on my couch and woke up. It was 3 a.m. and the fights were all over. So that was but it was worth it. It was all such a great time. Just get footage. Thank you for the 10. Styles look much more beefy, and I think that he is much more beefy. And Hicks was flying around. I'm excited about the linebacker room. Jaden Bonsu played very well at safety as well. Most balanced team we've ever had. Well, I think it is. I think it's the deepest team we've ever had too, because I look at our cornerback room, our safety room, D-line, receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. I mean, outside of tight end, and even our O-line, I think is going to be really deep. I mean, I know that like people are always, they're always constipated about our O-line, but I'm not. I think we're going to be fine there. I think G. Scott had a couple nice plays, which was great. And you only play one tight end, so if there's a place that I don't mind us being shallow, like tight end's probably it. But our linebackers showed out. I think Gabe Powers is a really quality number 4 linebacker behind the top 3. It's the deepest team I've ever seen at Ohio State. What are your thoughts on that, Nevada?
Yeah, it's deep. And, when you have guys like Calvin Simpson, Hunt, and stuff like that making plays in the defensive secondary, and I thought Bonsu played really well. We talked about being without Ransom, your Hartford. I thought Jermaine Matthews it's such a deep roster that goes beyond your Denzel Burks and your Davisons and your Jordan Hancocks. And, when the guys that are the backups on top of that, it really, speaks to the quality. And I think it'll be reflected someday in the NFL draft. As we're going to look back on this defensive secondary, this defensive squad, this whole team, and go, wow, we had X number of NFL draft picks on that team or whatever. And I think this team will compare favorably with any team in school history, and probably surpass it in terms of the NFL draft picks, because it's just it's quality on both sides of the ball at literally every position group on the field. And that just makes for a very, very exciting 2024.
I think it's gonna be fantastic. And again, we might not be done. We might get it. I mean, there's some guy gets in that roster from that portal. There's some guy hits the portal and Ryan's like, hey, this guy's an upgrade. Then who knows at this point? Because I think it's just kind of where we're at. Like I think Ryan's gonna make this the best roster he can possibly have, because he's taken a big swing this year. This is the year he's got to cash the chips in, man. This has got to be national championship year, and he knows it. And I don't think anything's going to stop him at this point. Woody the historian, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you, brother. Nevada OH.
Oh,
here we go. These are the best. Woody, I appreciate you when you do these. With modern analytics, Nevada, would Woody sequester the team at the Monastery and run the same full tee in the 76 Rose Bowl as in September? Or would he cut it loose and let the Fab Four out in SoCal and run the same full tee? That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. The hard part for me is like, I don't know how you could do the recruiting thing if you're when it gets out that you're having the kids all stay in a monastery during the Rose Bowl, not letting them go out or do anything, I don't know how that's going to play with the young youth, because that'll be all over their Instagrams and Snapchats and Twitters and whatever, where they're staying in the monastery instead of going out like all the other teams do. But what do you think, Nevada? Would Woody Hayes sequester the team in the monastery this year, or would he let them get loose and let the Fab Four go out? I assume the Fab Four; those are the freshmen that couldn't play. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think we're and I some of these years kind of run together in my mind, but I think he's referencing the dreaded UCLA Rose Bowl where we lost to UCLA after beating UCLA earlier in the year, and if that's what he's referencing, um, I've tried to block that out of my mind. That's what I still have post traumatic stress disorder over that whole thing. Um, Woody was Woody was an interesting guy. He definitely had his way of running things. He definitely had a very military approach to things. But I think modern analytics. I think Woody would have embraced modern analytics had he had access to that stuff because he loved to study that stuff. And he like I said, he was a historian. He was a very well read person, super intelligent, and I think he would have. I think he would have utilized that stuff liberally. Just back then, man, we didn't even. I mean, computers were just a gleam in the eye, and nobody had any access to anything other than kind of instinct and what you've done in the past. But anything would have been better than losing to that UCLA team in the Rose Bowl after just thrashing them earlier in the year, because that still goes down as one of the more inexplicable games in Ohio State history, up there with Michigan State 2015 and Michigan State 1998 for me. So, yeah, I've tried to block that out of my mind as good as possible.
Totally agree. ZZM, thank you for the 5. Did you guys smile as much as I did when you saw Downs taking on wide receivers in coverage? Yes, I did. It was a beautiful sight to see. No fly zone 2024. Yeah, best in America, baby. BIA. That's what they say. ZZM was awesome meeting you too, my man. Thanks for being an Ultra member. I'm going to start reading your book at some point whenever my brain chills out a little bit because I've been on this grind. It's been fantastic, but it's awesome meeting you too yesterday, my man. I appreciate all you do for the show. But yeah, I was happy. I mean, Caleb Downs is going to be the best player in the country on defense, I think. And it's exciting. Nevada, how excited were you to see Caleb Downs in an Ohio State uniform?
Just comforted. It's just like a big security blanket to have a playmaking, um, guy that can excel in coverage, excel in run support. Just smart, instinctive player with a nose for the ball. But frankly, I got that feeling from the whole defense. And like you said, defense, when you've got a secondary that can lock down across the board, it just makes everything better. It makes your pass rush better. It makes everything better. And this is going to be a very stingy group to move the ball through in the air. And I haven't always felt that way. Sometimes I felt like if a team's got a good passing attack, they're going to be able to move it. Not against this group. It's going to be hard to beat this group, and I think as a result, we'll get a lot of sacks. We'll create a lot of turnovers. So I think what do we have? 4 interceptions in the spring game. I think that's that's a statement for what we're going to have during the season. I think this is going to be the year of the big turnover and the dominant defense, and that is that's a championship recipe at everywhere, but certainly at Ohio State, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I love starting off when you see what we're doing on offense, and it was incredible. Yeah, what we're doing on defense is just as spectacular. I'm overwhelmed at how good this is going to be, how good of a year this is going to be. Because I think Caleb Downs is going to be the straw that stirs the drink on defense, and I can't wait to watch him really get to play tackle football. Philip Hotson-Roeder, appreciate you. Thank you for the deuce. If you have a question, please toss that in the chat. Appreciate you, my man. Michael Jarrett, thank you for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thank you for the 10. So glad to hear the turnout. Had no doubt about the turnout. Well, I never know. Like I told Mike Paul and I told people around Columbus, is like, look, I think it'll be a good turnout, but when you're in my shoes, you always have a little bit of everyone says they're coming, but until they show up, we're actually going to come. But it was incredible. I mean, it was, like I said, when I saw that line of people outside, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And people came streaming in, smiling and ready to kick it, and it was just completely awesome. I loved every minute of it, and I was just blessed, just happy for Buckeye Scoop, for everyone to get together, get to know each other, talk to each other. It was it's fun because you guys talk on here every night, but you get to actually meet people and talk to each other and exchange phone numbers, and it's amazing. So it was awesome, and I love hearing people saying how much they love the show and how it's got them through some times, and it's ridiculous how much it means to me in Nevada, and David Penterick and AT and all the other people that are big parts of the show. Kim, obviously, it was awesome. Also, you said looking forward to more meetups, so hopefully I can make future ones. We will absolutely have future ones. I'll try to get them a little bit further out just so you guys can plan to get there. There absolutely is going to be one in August for sure at the new Grove City Buffalo Wild Wings. I do not have a date when that will be open, but it'll be awesome, and I am looking forward to it. I'd love your thoughts in the comments. Do you guys prefer a weekend, like a Saturday? Because I think that's probably easier for people, maybe to get off work, or if you got to travel in from elsewhere, as opposed to midweek. I kind of like doing it in the morning, just because at night it's just tougher. I know people have kids, sports, and their kiddos and need a babysitter. During the day, I always feel like it's a little bit easier. So, but give me your comment on that, because I like all the feedback and I read all the comments, so I appreciate that. I can't wait for the season start. Go Buckeye Scoop, go Buckeyes. Nevada OH. Nevada will be at some meetups too. I don't know when yet, but he's going to be here. And when he's here, I don't even know what the place is going to do. We're going to have to like rent out the horseshoe if you show up, because it'll be
we got to get Treasure of the Tour, and we got to get Devin there as well. I saw Treasure in the chat. I scanned that there, so we got to get the whole happy gang together, and that would certainly be pandemonium for sure. Get Tony Turley there, get everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be great. We'll get get Akeem, get Devin, and that's Tora and Ohio 7715. It'll be ballistic. I mean, it'll be crazy. And again, I think by August, I think it'll be in, but it'll be we'll have people stay in the line so that they can get with those guys too. That'll be great. I think it'll be a blast.
Picture with the raccoon.
Picture with Cujo. I love that.
Picture with
Cujo shirt going. Cujo's our little mascot. Woody the historian. Here we go, Nevada. You ready? You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
All right. Nevada OH.
IO.
With modern analytics, would Jim Trestle sequester the team at a monastery and run the same plays from the game, or cut it loose and let the players out in Phoenix and run the same plays from the game? Oh, God. I mean, he probably should have put us in a monastery or prison when we were out there for that game, but I don't know. We stayed at the Scottsdale Princess, and, that was like the kindest venue ever to us, because we won – the national championship. We beat Kansas State. I mean, we went out there, beat Notre Dame. Like the 3 times that we went out there, we always stayed at the Princess. We wore the white jerseys, and we won. And then the 4th time we did it, we didn't win, and we wore the white jerseys. We got smashed by Florida. So I don't know. I would like for that last one. Maybe it would have been good to do the monastery. I think we got a little bit too caught up in the superstition when we were the 1 seed and we elected to wear our away jerseys like we were LSU. We wore white as the home team. But I don't know. I think Trust was good, man. Trust really didn't give us a curfew for the first few days out there. And he did that like when they played the Miami Hurricanes. He did that when they played the Fighting Irish. Like, I mean, so I don't think he'd do the monastery, because Trust he lets his hair down a little bit. I mean, you guys would never know it just because he's always so, coiffed and sweater vested up, but he let it rip sometimes. Nevada, what do you think? With modern analytics, would Jim Trestle have sequestered us in a monastery and run plays from the game, or cut it loose and still run plays from the game?
Well, this kind of leads me to a question that I've meant to ask, but I haven't asked before, because I know in every myth, there's always these great urban legends and myths, but there's always some basis in truth. There's always like a little, de facto, a little basis in truth. So I want to know, for that Florida game, how often did you go to In-N-Out Burger during the bowl roll? Did you go to In-N-Out Burger during that thing? Did you go more than once? Did you
I
go at
mean,
all?
I think I might have gone once just because like it's something to do and you only get to eat it on the West Coast. But like you got, it's like I always tell people, like you guys do understand, like when we were at Ohio State, we were poor and we ate trash. Like, I mean, I ate more McDonald's during my 4 years of college or 5 years of college than any other point in my entire life. I ate more fast food because like you're living on like a little dinky. So, and again, don't cry for me, Argentina. I get it. Don't cry for me, Mr. Scholarship Football player. But like, we didn't have like 3 meals a day like they do at the Woody Hayes now. And again, I don't care, and I'm not crying about it. But our guys ate more junk food than any team in the history of mankind. Because again, a lot of us are we're not from wealth. We're from destitute backgrounds, and we have our little scholarship check. And so I was eating frozen pizzas, McDonald's. I was eating the most garbage food you could ever eat. I mean, I'm talking like every day. And I understand frozen pizzas have come a long way, and McDonald's. I love Ray Kroc. I mean, he's one of my heroes. But I'm just saying, man. Like when people are like, "Oh, they ate In-N-Out Burger, that's what made them fat." I'm like, no, like we ate the same crap we always ate. We just played like trash, and we ran into Urban Meyer, who just happened to be like the second best football coach of all time. So, just kind of, again, when you play the game of football, it doesn't matter if your name's Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, everyone has one of those days where you get smashed. And Bill Cowher was talking about it at the thing on Friday night. Like, that's just part of the game, dude. There's sometimes you're the hammer, there's sometimes you're the nail, and that day we were the nail. So yeah, it didn't really have anything to do with eating In-N-Out Burger, but I do love that is like because Troy talked about eating In-N-Out Burger. That's what everyone latched onto. Said, oh God, they went to In-N-Out Burger every single day, every single night. They're just bathing in the Thousand Islands spread in like a big hot tub or something, like just Godzilla, the fat Godzilla, like from the new movies. But no, I mean, I don't know. Kind of is what it is at this point. But
maybe you should have. Maybe you should have eaten it every day.
Well, I will. Here's the one thing I will say. Going up into that Florida game, I went out less than any other bowl game I played in. I mean, I didn't go out at all. I think I might have went out one night, but I was like, you know what? I better lock in. I better get a massage. I better take care of my body. I better stretch more. I better eat tofu and whatever. And like we go out there and just get annihilated. We get embarrassed. We get speedboated or whatever. And I'm like, I'm never getting another massage again for the rest of my life. I'm going out every single night. I'm gonna drink beer and I'm gonna drink whiskey, like good hard men do. And I'm just telling you, man, like I am not ever gonna do that again. And like so, I haven't had a massage since that Florida game. I will never get another massage because like I was trying to eat. Oh, you got to eat salad and you gotta do good and you got to go to bed at 8 o'clock and get 12 hours of sleep. And I'm like, man, I mean, the whole team played better when we were closer to animals. Cause like, if you go back to that 02 team, those guys were animals. Those guys went out and they drank every ounce of liquor in all of Tempe. And then they went out and whooped the mess out of the Miami Hurricanes. And I was like, I think that's the way to do it. Now, I could be wrong. And I'm sure that there's some sports scientist that's going to say, Kirk, no, you got to eat tofu and go to bed at 7 o'clock. But that ain't how I'm wired. I'm wired to go hard. And it's like, when we went hard, we smashed Notre Dame. Obviously, LSU was just better than we were. I mean, there's no shame in that. Their quarterback was an NFL draft pick, and it kind of is what it is. But when it's all equal, man, I think give me the hardened dudes over the softies. And again, I felt like we played soft. And Troy. I mean, you watched the Troy Smith interview because he had his thoughts on that game as well. So, but yes, Nevada, I should have eaten In-N-Out Burger, and I should have. Hey. If you wanna win in the North Atlantic, you gotta train in the North Atlantic. Woody the historian, thank you for the 5 with modern. Nevada OH. With modern analytics, Nevada in championship game. Would Ryan Day pay special teams coordinator Parker Fleming $500,000 to put 12 men on the field? Would he do that in Nevada?
Well, this brings up a special teams thing. We missed a field goal in the spring game, so maybe we're already feeling the effect of Parker Fleming's departure. Maybe he was like some sort of evil genius that won't be fully appreciated until he's gone. That's a possibility as well. So with modern analytics, maybe Parker Fleming's like the missing link for us this year, and it's already affecting us, and we're already seeing the impact of his loss.
I totally agree. And I love the dogs in the photo too, Woody. Another super chat from Woody the Historian for Nevada OH. Nevada with modern analytics. I mean, honest to God, like because of this, Woody, I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. I'm gonna write literally a big shirt. It said because we had the massive shirts and we sold a ton of those, and you guys are all rocking them. You guys are all dying, laughing, loving them. I'm gonna do one that just says with modern analytics and then ... Nevada with modern analytics in a championship on 4th and 2. Would Jim Trestle pay a special teams coordinator? He put in brackets and S as in plural. $500,000 and run Andy Groom on a fake field goal. I don't know. It depends on the score, I think, but I'm sure Trestle would because Trestle's the king of special teams. But your thoughts on that, Nevada?
That happened. So it's like, hey, that Trestle was kind of like you said, he was like this, sweater vest wearing, conservative, punt from the 29-yard line type of guy. But every now and then he'd let his hair down and he'd do something wacky, and he'd run that wheel route, or he'd run that option play to the short side, or he'd run that fake field goal with Andy Groom. So yeah, no, he definitely had I think it was like he had Urban Meyer inside him wanting to get out, but at the end of the day, he was just Jim Trestle, and that was great for all those national championships at Youngstown and that glorious one at Ohio State. But yeah, he had a wild side to him, and every now and then it would come out, and you'd be like, "Where did that come from?" But that actually happened.
I love Tress. He's the best, man. He was unapologetically Tress, man. I mean, he was the same dude every day, and I loved it. D Sonny, thank you for the 5. And Eastmore, my dude from Columbus, Eastmore. That party was great yesterday, and the beat up staff was amazing. Totally agree. The staff was awesome, and they were like in the eye of the hurricane. Like, I mean, because I was standing taking photos for like 3 hours right in front of the one drink well, and these poor girls were running food out behind me and drinks, and they didn't smell anything, which was amazing because I was like spinning around, taking photos, talking to people, like, because that was like kind of an area where there wasn't any sun. Because it was really bright. It was a beautiful day out. But, if we were facing any way other than towards like the interior of the building, there was a lot of sun in the photos. So we did that. But no, they were awesome. It was great seeing you, D Sonny. I had to come grab you and tell you to come sit with the squad because you're sitting there finishing your food by yourself. I was like, dude, come by here and sit with us. Because towards the end of the day, when it kind of cleared out a little bit, like we all moved out to the patio and had some beers, and it was awesome. That was Andy Joe, Thomas Taylor, my cousins, Johnny Gleba, Phil Hanna, like we were all out there, and it was amazing. Like I said, it was just a great time, but it was great putting a name to a face, D Sonny, because I always say you ask the best questions on the show, and it was awesome to meet you, bro. So I appreciate you coming out, because it was, like I said, it was an awesome day. Like, I just keep saying it over and over again. Jonathan Whitman, thank you for the 5. Getting ready to move back to the great state of Ohio. Can't wait to start coming to some Buckeye games in the shoe. Nevada OH. Well, hopefully, if you're close, you can get to some of our meetups because we're going to have a bunch of them coming, man. Because people were very enthusiastic about the turnout and the numbers and everything that happened, and the crowd. The crowd was amazing. Again, not every crowd is a great crowd, and the crowd that we brought was smart, good people. They were excited to be there. They ate and drank. They had a great time. So people want to be a part of what we do and who we are as a Scoop family. So it was awesome, and I loved every minute of it. Again, Kim was great. She was running around 6 months pregnant, working the room, talking like a chatty Cathy doll, like she does, and it was just like one of those days where everything kind of came together, and it was really fun. Like I said, we had a couple others. We had Jennifer and Ashley were also there representing. With Kimbo right there, all in their Scoop gear. So it was, like I said, it was just fun. Like it was fun. Everybody was having a good time and meeting each other, and just had a blast. So let me know when you get here, Jonathan, and I'll let you know for the next meetup. It'll be good. Dick Buck, thank you for the deuce. Shout out my new friend at Rick Chang, met at the meetup. Yeah, again, like a lot of people made new friends, and it was great seeing you as well. Again, I love always seeing. These are the ones like when your name is like Dick Buck, and I used to call you Dick Buttkiss. I have no idea what you look like just because of what your avatar is and what your name is on the show. So it's cool when you actually walk up and someone says, "Hey, I'm this on the name, I'm this on the thing," and I get to actually see you guys. So it was unbelievable. Speedman 606, what is up, my man? Great to meet you, Burt Carton and some of the gang. Nevada OH.
I
Yeah, it was one of those days where, like I said, my head was spinning because I met literally about 500 people. A lot of you I knew, and a lot of you I didn't know. So, but it was like I said, it was just fun. Like I said, everybody got to know each other. Everybody had a good time. And if I didn't get to anybody, please let me know because I tried to get around to literally everybody that was there. Just say hi and thank you, and we're very grateful for you guys showing up. It's great to be there. I mean, it was great to be around you guys and see you guys. And you people tell me how much I forgot Phil Seal was here. Phil was great. He was there with his daughter. Phil's daughter's actually coming to Ohio State. Dr. Kirk got a good photo. There's me looking like Godzilla next to him and his daughter. So Phil Seal stopped by before he went into the game. The great Phil Seal. So I don't know, man. What a day. What a great time. But yeah, it was great seeing you as well. Speedman 606. Did I already do this one? I don't think so. Great to meet you, Burke Carton and some of the gang at Nevada OH.
and I've got a question. Did anybody have the bacon cheddar smash? Did anybody have that? Let's do that in the comments. Because that's my favorite burger there at Buffalo. And every time we talk about this meetup, I'm like, I got to go get a bacon cheddar smash here pretty soon. I'm going to have to do that, but I'm going to have to probably get it at some other location, which is going to pump up their sales. So it's kind of a conundrum.
No, I think I saw some of those. I always had mushrooms because I'm a huge mushroom guy, but it was, oh my God, what a good time, man. I mean, and we had a ton of massive shirts up there too. That made me really proud because people make fun of me for saying massive all the time. So I was like, well, we're going to put on a t-shirt. Now that's kind of going to be the thing. It's going to be called the Massive Meetup. It's going to be our new thing. Doreen, the queen, appreciate you and your husband coming out. Again, you were awesome. You grabbing the photos was amazing. Helping out Kim was amazing. Kim loves you. Appreciate you representing. I know that you guys went off to the spring game, but it was awesome. You were there the whole time. Thank you for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thank you for the 20. Thank you, Kirk and Kim, for the massive meetup. And I got to give Thomas Taylor credit for that because he started saying that all the time. Because he had a big chain on, with a big "the" on it. He kept putting it over his massive shirt. He kept saying "the massive meetup," and I was like, I love that. That's great. So shout to him. The Scoop fam is the real deal. Truly a blessing to meet so many wonderful Buckeye fans. Please do it again soon. Shout out to David Pinteric for your support of the Scoop. Yeah, David was all over the place, man. David was working hard. Taking photos. I mean, David probably took, he took hundreds of photos. He kept taking photos of me. He was kind of like my photographer when people wanted to get the photo. This is another good photo of Kimbo. But Doreen, like, again, I appreciate you, girl. It was awesome seeing you and your husband. There's Kimbo, doing her thing, walking around, being presidential like always. I got a good photo of Doreen. I got you and your husband on here. I don't know if you've seen this yet today. And again, appreciate Dr. Kurt. Dr. Kurt is our team photographer because he was all over the place. Here is Doreen and her husband, Darren. Appreciate you guys being there and representing. We got to get Darren a Scoop hat, so we'll get that done for you, Doreen. But appreciate you, as always. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. Sean Rawlings, thank you for the 10, and thank you for being a Scoop Ultra member. Great to see Treasure the Torah in here. Akeem the Dream is the best. And I told him today, I was like, you need to come to one of these. So, when we have the next one, the Torah might be flying in and bringing the heat. That'd be awesome. Nothing but respect for him. I hope to get him to the next meetup. I totally agree. Stay healthy, everyone. Yeah, Torah is going to be a big feature when we do this next one. I saw B. Moses. He's been on the show before. B. Moses it was awesome for him to come out. So we're gonna grow, and we've got some good stuff coming. But Torah's got to get here, man. He'd have a ball meeting everybody in person because that's the fun part is just talking to everybody, getting to know everybody, having a good time. Nevada, your thoughts? Because I think when Tora and Devin both show up, when Akeem and Devin show up, that'll be unbelievable. It'll be hilarious because we'll have Wrench Brothers shirts ready for those guys. I think it'll be fun. Your thoughts on that, Nevada?
Yeah, it's just what an amazing community, and it is. I'm looking forward to getting to know people better and getting acquainted with everybody as we're kind of moving forward. But yeah, we just appreciate what everybody does to support the show, and what Akeem and Devin and Kim do to moderate the show, which we know is a thankless job, but an important one. And so we just appreciate everybody being here and making it such. And it's great seeing Tor. I know Tor's been busy with work and some other stuff. It's great to see him back today. So I'm really blessed that he's here tonight.
No, yeah, it's awesome. And like I said, he gets to come to a meetup next, baby. I can't wait. Everyone's going to be, because Tora, when your name's Treasure the Tora, everyone's like, what's he look like? Who is he? So that'll be hilarious. People will love that. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. Appreciate you, Sean and Tony. What a great day yesterday was. Just get footage. Thank you for the 5. We all forget that Mylan Graham is coming in here in June. I kind of had that on the back of my head that it's unfortunate that he wasn't able to get here early. He's a lot like Brandon Ennis. Brandon Ennis couldn't come early last year because American Heritage, his high school, would not let him graduate early because they'd lose out on tuition money. So that was like a school policy. So it kind of handicaps those kids a little bit, which stinks. But he's gonna push that wide receiver room to be much better. I totally agree. One of the best route runners I've seen. Yeah, he's an explosive dude. He's awesome, and I'm excited to see what he does with Brian Harlan. But he'll be a little bit behind, and that room it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to crack that rotation. But he's a 5-star man, and he's got jets, and some of those guys better figure out what they're gonna do, just because he's that is a deep room, man, and it's hard to. When a guy like JJ shows up as a freshman and kind of resets the depth chart and he goes to the top of it, then it's hard. I mean, those guys all want to play, and if you're not a first-round pick, you're not playing at Ohio State at wide receiver at this point, which is insane, but that's where they're at in reality. Poohbeard12, thank you for being Scoop Ultra member. Thank you for the 10. I shared other thoughts on Buckeye Scoop from being at the game, but I got to say the running lanes were the best I've seen since Urban, and it's not close. P.S. I wish I could have been there at Meetups. We missed you, dude. I'd have loved to have had you there. But it was like I said, it was a magical day. It was the best day in Scoop history, easily. What a wonderful time. Nevada, do you agree with that? Because I totally agree with that, because I think that we went away from running the quarterback, and now we're running it, and with Chip's scheme, do you agree that the running lanes were the best that you've seen since Urban Meyer?
I don't think there's any question about it. And it's we say this all the time. I've had the All-American Tree in the Grove, the great right tackle Britt Carton confirm this. It's not about the offensive linemen lining up and blowing their guys 27 yards down the field and open these giant holes. If you scheme it up right, you can get away. You don't have to be like the greatest off. It doesn't need to be 5 Orlando Paces or 4 Corey Stringers and a Kirk Barton out there on the front line. You can have just good players, but if you have great scheme, what you end up with is gigantic holes. And I thought that I saw that. I thought that I saw that in the rewatching, and it wasn't like the running backs. This isn't Archie Griffin and Ezekiel Elliott going out there doing. These are guys that are really good players, but there were some massive holes, and that is the Chip Kelly effect, and you're going to see it in living color this year when the bullets are flying for real. But I was excited to see it, and it was one of the first things that I noticed, and it's one of the many reasons I'm so excited about Chip Kelly being here, and it was just fun to see him. You can tell Chip is completely happy. Ryan is completely happy. And the running game at Ohio State, if you're a fan of the running game, you believe that we've got to run the football to be effective, the Chip Kelly hire is the greatest hire in school history, because he understands how to create those mismatches, how to get those running lanes. And I thought we saw that in abundance on Saturday.
Yeah, and again, like, we don't even have a live quarterback yet. So when you have a live quarterback, I think it's going to be even bigger, because he'll be a real threat. Because when you're playing in a game like that, the quarterback's never going to keep the ball. So you don't have to be completely honest when you play defense. But when you can run it and pull that thing, it's going to be a whole different ball of wax. So he can pull that ball and go around the corner with it on some of the read stuff. It's going to be awesome. Devin, what is up, my man? Ohio State 715. Thanks for being an ultra member. Thanks for being a wrench brother. We missed you yesterday. I know we FaceTimed you yesterday with Cujo, but we got to have you actually here, and I think it's going to be awesome when you get up here. You're going to go nuts because it's going to be so fun. What's up? Thank you for the 20, my friend. What's up, fellas and family in the chat? Tora! It's funny because I was going to say Akeem because, it's my guy. O-line, tight end, and kicker in the portal. Possibly. We definitely have a QB in the room that can win us a natty. Wish I could have been at the meetup. You would have had a ball, man. Oh, my God. It was so fun. 24-25 natty lock. Nevada OH.
I-O.
What do you think, Nevada? O-line, tight end, kicker in the portal, possibly? I mean, here's the thing. I think Ryan is in the business of getting us the best roster possible. So when that portal opens up tomorrow and 1,000 kids jump into it from all over the country, like, they're going to scour over the top guys. And, again, there's always an equal and opposite reaction to adding a kid in the portal. If you do that, you're probably going to lose a kid or two just because kids will be upset if it's at their position or it pushes them down the depth chart. But I don't think Ryan cares in here. I think Ryan wants to win. And if there's a guy out there that could be a huge asset that isn't going to be a cancer, let's go. But I also think that this roster is good enough to win a national championship status quo. I'm sure we'll lose some guys in the portal tomorrow. I'm sure of it. Just because that's how college football is. But I don't think we're going to lose anybody who's in the two deep. So I honestly don't care if guys move on and they want to go play somewhere else. That's great. But I just that's just where I'm at. Nevada, your thoughts? O-line, tight end, kicker in the portal. Could you see Ryan doing some shopping?
Well, I think they're shopping at every position. I think they're looking for upgrades. They're looking for guys that are, depth pieces that can fit into the two deep, that can help, because it's all about 2024 right now with Ryan Day. And I'd say that for just about every position other than quarterback, where maybe they're doing a little bit of development, but they know they're all in. They know that they're pushing it all in. Gonna be a long season. Gonna need the depth. So if you find a guy that can help you on the interior defensive line, if you find an outstanding another defensive back, I mean, they're going to bring him in. They're going to do it. But clearly, if there's a phenom on the offensive line that they can find it, I gotta believe there's going to be one that's going to enter the portal this time around. They'll go get it. And Ryan doesn't care about feelings, and nor should he, because the reality of football in 2024 is let's play 2024 and we'll worry about 2025 when it comes around, because your roster can look completely different. Depth is an illusion.
Yep.
Not having depth is not an excuse for any position coach, because if you have needs, you go fill it in the portal. And if you don't do that, then that's on you. So, I think Ohio State is the now program. Everybody knows it. The agents know it. The other coaches know it. The players in college football certainly know it. So there's a lot of people lining up that want to play, and I think Ohio State's going to have their choice. So it's going to be a very, very interesting portal season for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Noah Knows. That's a great name. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, my friend. Did it look like Sonny struggled at linebacker with the twos, or are my eyes lying to me? Well, I think sometimes, like, when you're playing linebacker with the twos, depending on who you have in front of you, life would be a little bit rougher when you don't have Tyreek and Ty Hamilton in front of you. But I thought he was fine. Again, it's a spring game. Again, I put as little stock into a spring game as possible, just because I've played in them, I coached in them. I mean, I don't even think, honestly, when we coached them in them in 20, like, with under Urban and Trestle, I don't even think we graded the spring game. Like, I mean, that's how little it means, because it's so generic and vanilla. Now they might do that now, but I would bet a lot of money in 2012 we didn't even grade the spring game. Like, we didn't sit down as a staff and watch the whole spring game. So, and you do that after every game on Sunday morning after a game. So that's how little it means. So if he struggled a little bit, I could see it, but I don't know. I think Sonny's going to be a dynamic part of this defense, and this defense is going to be really nasty this year. So, Nevada, any thoughts from you? Did it look like Sonny struggled at all?
I can see where you could draw that conclusion. You just got to remember, what is he best at? And as we said earlier in the show, he's best at blitzing. run blitzing, pass blitzing. And when you're not doing that, which they weren't doing yesterday, then it's really not playing to what he's best equipped to do. So I could see how you would think maybe he wasn't quite as effective as he needed to be. But when they get him going forward, and they were doing that late in spring, they were getting him going forward, and he was getting home. And I think we'll see that a lot in the fall. I think we'll see a lot during the regular season. But yeah, he's best when he's attacking, and he wasn't attacking much yesterday.
Totally agree. Here we go. All right, this is a real one here in Nevada. Lord Vader Kush, again, one of my favorite names on the entire site. Thank you for the 10. Serious question, Nevada. If your co-host, Burke, was bitten in the groin area by a highly venomous snake, would you be willing to suck out the poison to stave the scoop? Nevada OH. Honestly, I'd probably just die. And I know Nevada would just collect the life insurance policy on me, and he'd go laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah. We have Keyman on Kirk right now, so I have to be honest.
Nope.
I have to be honest with you that we're gonna miss him.
There's no way. We're gonna miss him dearly.
And Kim Barton is going to become the most eligible bachelorette on the in the Columbus area. So.
Oh my god! Seriously, I just feel like, well, just let me die. I was like, I come off the Scoop meetup, I'm good. I was like, it'll be funny. I'll be laying there dead in my casket. You'll be like, Kirk, what time we podcast? And Kim will be like,
no,
Nevada, he's dead.
Because if that's what it took to save you, I'd want to kill myself afterwards. So one of us is going down. You know what I'm saying? It's probably you. Yeah.
He's probably gonna say, hey, he lived a good life. He had a good meetup, and
he had a great.
It's go time.
It's time, man. You lived a great life. You did. We'll visit your tree. We'll pour some brandy on it every year. It'll be awesome.
Sprinkle my ashes at Marquee and Spearmint Rhino will be good.
Rippy Van Winkle all over your grave.
Oh god, I know. That was a great question, though. I just feel like this Lord can take me now. I'll be good. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the candor and the honesty, though. And that he'll be calling the claims adjusters and, hey, when is that wire going to clear? Because I'm ready for it.
Exactly. True.
Oh god. Dude Jack 8, thank you. Great seeing you yesterday. Thank you for the 10. It was great meeting everyone this weekend. Again, I appreciate you, my man. Made the solo trip from Nashville that much better. Again, I appreciate you coming from Nashville. That's a little bit of a haul. Kirk, thoughts on Devin Brown 33 leaving the pocket early? That's not what I saw, but just curious on your thoughts. I don't know. I think he's trying to create a little bit and have some fun. I don't think it was anything bad. I think Devin had a great spring. I think that him and Will are going to be a dynamic duo at quarterback, and I'm hoping he sticks, and I think he's going to stick, which is going to be great for when you have those two and Julian Saint as your top three. That's as good as you can get. I mean, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be fantastic to see what we can do in that quarterback room, especially as they get more experience in Chip's offense. But I thought he was just kind of creating, honestly. I mean, again, it's a spring game. It sucks when you're an athlete like Devin or Will Howard or these guys that can motor around and you have a black jersey on. It's basically like they shackle your feet together because you can't run. And for these guys that can go out and produce 50 rushing yards in a game, that's huge, especially when it's converting on third and short, third and medium, and you can scramble and go keep the chains moving. Like it's a different level of pain for the defensive coordinator when they know they have to defend against a guy that's got mobility. So I thought Devin had a good spring, but I didn't think he was really leaving the pocket early. Nevada, your thoughts on Devin Brown leaving the pocket early?
Yeah, I mean he was dropping it. He was dropping his eyes a little bit early, but again, I don't mind that, and I think that's kind of what's baked in the cake with Devin. I mean, Devin's not the guy who's going to sit there and be patient and extend the play down the field, but he is a guy who's going to make up his mind, tuck the ball in and run decisively. So I think it's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of another type of situation with Devin. But I agree. I think he had a really good spring. I think they're going to want to keep that quarterback competition alive as long as they can for all the logical reasons regarding the portal and transferring and wanting to keep guys in, the need for multiple quarterbacks this year. So, Ryan's not going to name a quarterback. Chip's not going to name a quarterback. They're going to talk about how close it is, and they're going to run this battle through the through the fall. May the best man win. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't like he was just taking off like a skittered rabbit. It was more of a he sees an opportunity and let's go. And frankly, I like that. So to me, it was a blessing rather than a curse. So I'm all about that.
Totally agree. Here's another great question from Pooh Beard. Pooh Beard 12, thanks for being an ultra member. Thank you for the 5. Need an unbiased opinion from Nevada. Who wins in an Oklahoma drill, which is a one-on-one blocking drill, between Kirk Barton and Burke Carton? Nevada
Ooh.
OH.
I'm going with Burke Carton for sure because Kirk Barton has turned into a big pudding pop right now, and Burke Carton is a savage, man. And, that guy, he's like this version that we have of Kirk Barton, this big cuddly bear, and stuff like that. He used to be a killer. Now he's a softie. He's getting his 3rd kid. He's like the hockey dad now. He's like the travel sports dad.
Soft.
He's out there soft, man. Soft
in a new driving around a minivan. Soft. Burke Harton's the guy that came up in
he's the monster
truck. Yeah, the minivan. Burke Carton's the guy that you saw after the Notre Dame game on the podcast that people kept coming up saying, that was the funniest podcast. I was like, oh my God, I've never podcasted. Kids like, we got a podcast. It's like, oh, I probably shouldn't do this. And I hit record. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. It's like, I think people were like, where did that go? That was the funniest episode. I was like, oh God, I was bent. But again, when you're in Nevada and your livelihood, the enjoyment of your livelihood is directly tied to if Ohio State wins or loses. Because when they lose, it sucks. I mean, it sucks dealing with people.
Terrible.
So when it comes down to a game like Notre Dame, where it comes down to like the 1-inch line, and we're just happy that Al Washington was dumb enough to only have 10 guys on defense. We just happened to run right where the defensive end was supposed to be. Like your boy, we were having a little bit of whiskey that day, so the podcast was not real smooth. But it does. I did have a bunch of people come and say that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh God, I never should have did that. But hey, we wanted to monetize, and monetize we did. Monetize my hilarity. So probably Burke Carton. But Burke Carton probably wouldn't have too much of an equilibrium balance-wise if he is with the Gleba family swimming and drinking whiskey all day. It's probably not going to be too hot in an Oklahoma drill. So that's a great question. I love that. Expedition Greg, thank you for the 5. Thank you for being an ultra member as well. Appreciate you, my man. What's your opinion of the 2 of our latest commits Saturday? We got the tight end Roberts, and we got the linebacker Cody Haddad. I think they're fine. I mean, they're good players. I don't think that I mean, again, I never go down or go denigrate any of these kids in terms of. I don't go down that road of they're 3-ish, 4-star type kids. I think they're good. We've broken them down on past episodes. I always love kids from Ignatius. I think that's always huge and helpful for the program to get some of these Ohio kids in there, because I know that we're less and less Ohio based in terms of our roster now. So I never think it hurts to get an Ignatius kid, but I think that they're good players. Are they dominators? Probably not yet, but I think they're going to be good players in the program. And we needed impact tight end bad, and we got a linebacker / safety body type who he'll probably end up as a safety, but he could grow into a linebacker. So I'm going to be excited for both of them. Nevada, your thoughts? We had 2 new commitments, new tight end, new safety. And again, the safety room is going to be crowded, but we run 3 safeties, so it makes sense. But we could take as many as 4 or 5 safeties this year, depending on the portal. But your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, Haddad is a great football family, and I like him a lot. I love guys like that, and like you said, getting kids out of Ignatius is never a bad thing. There's a certain quality that that you're going to get from those guys, and I don't think you can have enough of those kids on the roster. And props to Keenan Baylor for going out and going to Oklahoma and getting a tight end. That's a good pull. We'll see how good it's a position that we need to upgrade athletically, and I think he did a really nice job in terms of getting them. So we bang on guys when they don't perform or we feel that they're not performing, but I want to give him props when he does, and I think that's a really good pull for him. I think that's a really good get for the tight end room, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I agree. Someone posted that Victor Cutler is in the transfer portal again.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
got to be
somebody
a
I saw.
record.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
There's no way. I mean, anything's possible in modern times, but no, it looks like he's staying. Our boy Pete Nakos. There were gonna be 4 guys from Louisville's O line that were gonna enter the portal, including Vic Cutler. But it looks like Victor Cutler's staying, so that's
Phew,
dude.
phew.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Heaven forbid. Yeah, I think Nate Roberts will be fine. Cody, again, I don't really get excited unless the tight end is like Gronk. Like I'm never gonna be that excited about tight end in our offense. I'm just being honest. But Cade was nice. I mean, we got Jeremy Ruckert, who's like a 5-star, highest rated tight end in school history, and he had a good career. Went 3rd round, but when he left, it wasn't like there was a huge loss because we had Cade behind him. So, and honestly, I thought Cade was as good as, if not better than he was. Akeem the Dream, Treasure the Torah. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being a Wrench brother, and thank you for being a Scoop Ultra member, as always. Appreciate you, brother. Just want to say thank you to the whole Buckeye family for showing so much love and support. Give a very special thank you to Kirk, Nevadabuck, Ohio 7715, aka Devin, Asian Posh, aka Doreen, Sean Rawlings, aka Sean Rawlings, Sean Schruck, aka Sean Schruck, and Donald Rosbeck, aka Donald Rosbeck, and so many more. Tora, we love you, bro. Happy to have you back. You need to come to a meetup because you would have been the belle of the ball. People would love to meet you because you'd be hilarious and you'd be. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine you and Devin there yesterday because it was so much fun, and it's like as much as you love being a part of this like crew and this family and this community, I couldn't imagine you actually meeting all these people in person because as great as they are as screen names and avatars in the chat, they're better in person. They're just great people. I was so proud and happy of the quality of people that we have associated with our little crew here, and people that are on BuckeyeScoop.com were there. People from the podcast were there. There's a lot of people that are on both, which is the optimal way to do this. But I just love seeing everybody. It was just so fun. So you're going to get to one quickly, dude, because when you show up, man, you're going to have an absolute blast. Nevada, also known as Nevada. Your thoughts on Tora? Because I think Tora, you'd have a blast at this thing, dude.
Yeah, we definitely got to get them there. Just Akeem, we just appreciate you so much and so glad to have you back. And it's very comforting to see your name there in the chat, knowing that you and Devin and Kim have got things under control. And we'll definitely meet up in the fall. We'll have a big blow up. We'll get Devin up. We'll get you there, and I may sneak in, maybe even anonymously, just kind of sneak in there. And we'll have a big shindig, and that'll be a lot of fun.
That was the best part is the rumors of who is Nevadabuck. Like is someone on that back table in Nevadabuck?
Well,
So we had like a little table.
no. It's like I had somebody come up to me and they thought that we had invited. There's like some show, The Golden Bachelor or something like that, and they thought Pinteric was the Golden Bachelor, and I'm like,
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm like, David, we're gonna probably have to have like a win a dream date with David type of thing or something like that because he is kind of our Golden Bachelor, and they asked me if we had the Golden Bachelor, and I'm like, yeah, that's Pinteric.
I love that the Golden Bachelor, they stayed married for like 3 weeks. I was like, that's the dumbest show of all time because literally nobody stays married during it.
That was shocking. Yeah, that was shocking.
Oh, I know. True romance. It's unbelievable. No, but I had so much fun. It was incredible. But Akeem, you're the best one, man. I'll catch up with you again. I had a nice talk with you earlier. And I got a little bit of sun today, too, which was good for Donald and Karen Rosbeck. Thank you for the 5. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member as well. I watched the game on Fox, and the defense looked mean and ready. I agree. Our defense looks really good. The offense looked like it needs work. I believe they'll be ready to go, though. Nevada OH. I think that, again, when you do these things, there's always going to be one side that might look a little better than the other one. But you got to envision what's it going to look like when you don't go against the best defense in the country? When you're not going against Jack Story and JT and Denzel Burke and Caleb Downs and this defense that we have. Imagine what's going to look like when we play Akron, Western Michigan, Iowa. They're going to get trounced by this offense. So again, I always take a little bit of a grain of salt, but I also I'm positive. Like I said, the defense looked fast and nasty. I loved watching it. It was fantastic. It was absolutely a blast. Nevada, your thoughts? The defense looked mean and ready. The offense looked like it needs work. Your thoughts?
Well, we always say, Kirk, you and I could go to the same practice and draw very different conclusions about what we're seeing. And that's what's great about watching games. I thought the offense looked great. I thought, everybody can't look great. You're not going to score 100 points and then feel like the defense played great. And you're not going to score 3 points and feel like the offense played great. So something's got to give. But I mean, man, we rushed the ball and we're opening up some massive holes and have some great things kind of going on there. I thought, at least I thought Will and Devin both looked in control and moved the offense. But at the same time, I got this feeling for the defense that they could clamp down on just about anybody. So like you said, it's hard for both sides to look good. And we came about as close to that as humanly possible. And, so yeah, no, I respect that people might view it differently, but man, I was really impressed with both sides of the ball, and that is hard to do in a spring game, virtually impossible to do. But I came away with that feeling, and but I understand why people might have seen it differently.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I was happy about it all. Donald and Karen Rossback. Again, thank you for being super much. Remember, thank you for the 5. Sorry, my wife and I could not make it. We will be at the next one. We were happy you all had a great time. Nevada OH. Yeah, I mean, God, I know I can't even imagine, because the thing about this thing that's going to be crazy is like this one was so fun and so great that I think it's going to inspire a lot of people to kind of dive in and come to the next one, and it's going to be even better because there's going to be more people there. Like we'll get Akeem there, we'll get Devin there, we'll get Nevada there. Like it'll be ballistic, and people will be like, "Holy cow, this is great!" Because again, there's always a little bit of skittishness. It was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to know anybody." I'm under a screen name, under a pseudonym, whatever. But then everybody came together, everybody got to know each other, and everybody was great. So I mean, it was really high quality people. Again, it was a blast. Again, I tell the people that run Buffalo Wild Wings and run some of our other sponsorships. I was like, I don't want to do a podcast when I'm at these locations because I want to interact with everybody. If I'm sitting on a podcast, I got to sit at a mic and talk, and I'd rather be talking to everybody and getting to know everybody. And, I can podcast from my house at any time. Like I can do that later, but it's more fun when you really get to talk to people, get to know people. I had a young man brought in a Jackie Robinson autographed, game ticket. I mean, that was incredible. And it was awesome to meet you. So I appreciate all you guys that show up. I mean, we had great veterans that were in the building. Got to thank them for their service personally. Again, I love singing the national anthem. I was proud of all the gear we sold. It's got the American flag right on the sleeve. Again, it was awesome. Like I said, I can't do that if I'm stuck behind a microphone doing a podcast. So I was really happy about how it worked out. It went exactly how I hoped it would. And honestly, it was better than I ever dreamed of, just because everybody got along. Everybody had a good time. I think everybody loved getting to know each other and talk to each other. And it was all because of the group of people we have on here. So again, I appreciate you guys so much for it. It was incredible. And Nevada, you're gonna hear. Oh, here's Pateric. Pateric said, "But Nevada, he's married, and he's not golden either. He's not the golden bachelor. He has to get like a little bit of a deeper tan." Thank you for being an ultra member, Nevada. The golden bachelor is the golden married dude. That's gonna be the new name of the show.
Yeah, I know, but like this is television, this reality television, man. This is all scripted, David. It doesn't matter. With the fact that you're married is just a detail. You are the golden fox.
Someone say look at the silver fox. I know.
The silver.
There's Doreen. He was working.
The silver bachelor.
Buckeye Bliss
come on.
is behind me.
Look at that. Is that not the most handsome guy in Youngstown, Ohio, right there, or what? I mean,
easily.
He's like a male model.
Easily. I mean, come on, David. Like, I mean, we called you Gold Bachelor. People call me Sasquatch. That doesn't mean I walk around the woods naked. It's like
big cuddly bear.
The big cuddly bear. I mean, I don't look like a bear. Nevada calls me big cuddly bear, but that doesn't mean I'm actually a bear. So I mean, it's all kind of like organic. It's funny. Buckeye Blitz back here with his eyes closed invited me to his wedding yesterday, which was he's like, "Hey, would you come to my wedding?" I was like, "Yes, I will. As long as it's in Vegas, we're there, dude. I'm seeing I'll be there. I always send a nice gift. But I appreciate you, my man. I'm looking forward to to seeing you, and I appreciate you coming. Oop, my bad. Real quick on that. Lee, thank you for the 10. We had a great time at the meetup. Thanks, Kirk, Kim, and Nevada for the greatest platform. Appreciate you, my man. It was awesome meeting some of the Scoop family. Appreciate you on that as well. Hope to see you all again soon. Nevada OH.
I-O.
Oh, dude, it was a time, man. It was really a time. It was awesome. What a great time. Had a blast. The chat is on fire right now. It's popping. So, yeah, it was a blast time. It was a great time. Yeah, that was David and Doreen together. I love this Asian posh Doreen. I love that. That's awesome. Tor said the silver fox. That's where you go.
Exactly.
That's where you go with David. So
Silver Bachelor.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. But it was such a good time. Yeah, and everybody loved Penteric, man. Penteric was kind of the belle of the ball, and he was helping me take photos and keep people happy that could jump in there when I was sitting there sweating like a hog. So it was unbelievable. But well, Nevada, I think we can wrap this thing up. Oh, never mind. Got another super chat. Lee McAllister, thank you for the 10. Yeah, I love the fact you didn't do a podcast. Yeah, I would never do that to you guys just because I like to talk to you guys. Like, I want to get to know everybody and make sure everyone's having fun. I like facilitating people, introducing people to each other. Because I feel like that's, kind of what the cool part is that I don't want there to be some barricade where I'm podcasting. And frankly, I also don't want to bring my equipment down either. So, like, I'd rather, talk to you guys and get to know you guys because I only get to see you guys a couple times a year in person. So it's like, let's all get together and talk and have a good time. And I'm not going to be up podcasting. But it was incredible and it worked out great. I said, love you didn't do a podcast. You just had a blast meeting and thanking everyone that showed up. Nevada OH.
I-O.
I totally agree. I just want to talk to everybody, make sure everyone's having a good time. Be gracious and humble that you guys showed up and wanted to support this and meet everybody and have a good time because, those guys are our sponsors and, they believe in us and, you guys believe in us. And so it all happens in one big kind of sphere where you guys all come together. And again, I had a blast. Like I had as much fun as I can remember. Honestly didn't even really care about the game. I had to go back and rewatch it because I was too busy talking to everybody. As much as I wanted to watch it and I was excited about the game, like I was more excited to see all you guys and have some fun. And, when it cooled off a little bit after, about 5 hours, like I actually had a few beers and was just shooting the bowl with a bunch of people. And it was awesome. Like I said, I was bringing everybody outside and we kind of took over that whole outside area and it was just, it was an incredibly fun time. And I had a blast. And we got my man, Jared Brandon. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for being an Ultra member as well. So sad I couldn't be at Meetups. We'll do it again. I promise you. Dominican Republic was off the hook. Man, we'll do one down there. That sounds fun. We watched some real baseball down in the DR. I was careful of my surroundings as I am a former military police. That's very smart. Again, it is a wild time down there. Can't wait to wear my massive shirt to work tomorrow. That is awesome. We had a ton of people in the massive shirts, and that made me so happy because, that was kind of, it was kind of like, because like I said, people make fun of me for always saying massive in more podcast titles, and I was like, you know what? I would put massive in every single title for the rest of my life, and you guys are gonna love it. And all the other people that don't like that I do that, they can go fly a kite. Because guess what? We put it on a T-shirt, and we sold more massive shirts than anything else in our entire lot. So guess what? Our new favorite word is on Buckeye Scoop. Massive. And guess what our next meetup is going to be? The Massive Meetup. And guess what my new nickname is going to be? The Massive Big Cuddly Bear. Right, Nevada?
Massive Scoop had it first, Cuddly Bear.
Oh, that's going to be my name. Massive Scoop had it first, Cuddly Bear. So we could just get everyone that's always in their feelings all swirled together and angry. But yeah, Jared, I can't wait to see you. When you come, you got to tell me about the DR. I've got Johnny Buckeye, who's on our site. His family was in the DR, so he's down there about half the year. And Paul Kinzer, who's our good friend, is a baseball agent, and he's got a ton of DR contacts. He's down there a lot because a lot of his players are from the DR. So I'm sure it is beautiful. And I'm glad that you enjoyed your trip, and I'm glad that you're home safe. And I'm glad you get to wear your massive shirt tomorrow. So I appreciate all you guys as always. So. Well, Nevada, I think we can wrap this thing up. We're almost at 2 hours, so this was a nice long one to make up for yesterday. And again, I apologize about yesterday. I was as exhausted as I've ever been because I was on 3 hours of sleep. And when I got home, I was all excited about UFC 300, and I laid on that couch, and I didn't wake up till 3 a.m. So I was tired and as tired could be, but it was a blast. And again, I wasn't tired because of the Scoop meetup. I was tired because of the Pittsburgh trip the day before, where I didn't get home till 3 a.m. I had to drive home all night. So, um, apologize we didn't pod yesterday, but I told him I was like, dude, I need to fall asleep. And plus, I didn't really get to watch the game because I was kicking it with all you guys. Which again, I'd much rather kick it with you guys than watch the spring game when I can go back and rewatch it at my leisure. But final thoughts, Nevada. We'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, well, look, we've talked about having a big get together in the fall, but maybe golf, like the golf outing over the summer. Maybe we get together for some golf or something like that, which could be a little bit of fun as well. So we got all sorts of possibilities. But just appreciate everybody's support. Last night, on behalf of the Cuddly Bear and Kimbo and Devin and Akeem, I want to thank everybody. A great show tonight. I couldn't wait to go on tonight because I was so excited about the spring game, and it was just great talking with everybody. Had a blast, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fantastic show tonight. Thank you guys again. This was a huge show because you guys made it one. So thank you guys. It was great to be here. It was great to have you guys. It's great seeing you guys yesterday. Again, all you guys that showed up, packed the house. What a time. What a great time. Special thank you to Kim, my wife, for holding it down, being the first lady of Scoop, running around like a chicken with her head cut off all day yesterday, talking to everybody. She did great, so I was really happy. The old girl's 6 months pregnant, so she was still motoring around like she was 0 months pregnant. So she's a beast. So love you, babe. You did great. With that being said, thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave us a like. Click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Again, we appreciate you guys, all your support. That alert bell is critical to make sure you guys never miss a live show. 7 o'clock tomorrow in all likelihood. The sports are kind of cleared off the calendar for now. So looking like 7 o'clock going forward. I'll probably do a little bit more spring game review, a little bit more recruiting review, maybe break some film down tomorrow. So cool. Well, shout out where you guys are watching from. Shout out who you guys are watching with. Shout out to my boys down in Southern Ohio. You guys are rolling in deep. Shout out to my people from all over the place. I mean, we had people flying from Vegas, California, Newark, New Jersey. Obviously, D-Jack drove up from Nashville. It was awesome seeing all you guys. It was amazing. So shout out to our Florida Buckeyes, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, obviously all through Ohio, Pennsylvania. It was awesome. Great seeing you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, it was incredible. What a great day. So that being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. And thank you, Scoop family, for killing the game yesterday because it was incredible. All you guys coming out was amazing. And the next one will be even bigger. So if you guys did not make it, the next one will be better. It'll be even bigger. It'll be better. It's going to be awesome. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Go Bucks.